Imagine a country where the prime minister faces prison, while simultaneously commanding an army in a multi-front war. Where ultra-religious men refuse to fight, and the country is tearing itself apart over it. Where allies in Washington are losing patience, and enemies in Tehran are watching every crack. This is Israel, right now, and it is on fire. Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi to his supporters, the defendant to his critics, has been Israel's prime minister longer than any leader in the country's history. He is also currently on trial for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. But here's the twist that would break any Netflix scriptwriter's brain. He's still in power. His coalition government, a patchwork of far-right nationalists, ultra-Orthodox religious parties, and settler hardliners, is held together with political tape and mutual self-interest. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich openly calls for annexing the West Bank. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has a portrait of a Jewish terrorist on his wall. These aren't fringe figures. They are the government, and Netanyahu needs every single one of them to stay out of prison. October 7th, 2023 changed everything. Hamas launched the deadliest attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust. Over about 200 Israelis killed, 250 taken hostage into Gaza. Israel went to war. But within weeks, the war inside Israel became just as intense as the one outside it. Families of the hostages flooded the streets screaming at Netanyahu, "You abandoned them!" Reservists who had been fighting for months asked a furious question. Why are ultra-Orthodox men, 60,000 of them, exempt from military service? This is the draft exemption crisis. For decades, ultra-Orthodox Haredi men have been allowed to study religious texts instead of serving in the military. It was a political deal struck decades ago. But with Israel fighting on 5 fronts, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, the West Bank, and the threat of Iran, regular Israelis are sacrificing their sons while an entire community sits it out. The Israeli Supreme Court ruled the exemption illegal. Netanyahu's government? They tried to pass a law to make it legal again, to protect their coalition partners. The streets erupted. Soldiers threatened to stop reporting for duty. The country cracked down the middle. Here is where it gets dangerously unstable. Netanyahu's coalition has collapsed and reformed more times than most countries have elections. In the last 2 years, coalition partners have threatened to quit, demanded illegal laws be passed for them, and held the entire government hostage over the hostage deal. Ben-Gvir, the man with the terrorist portrait, actually resigned when a ceasefire deal with Hamas was struck because he wanted the war to continue. He then rejoined the coalition weeks later. This is the level of chaos we are talking about. Meanwhile, the war cabinet that was formed after October 7th, which included opposition leader Benny Gantz, collapsed. Gantz walked out, accusing Netanyahu of prioritizing his political survival over a war strategy. Former military chiefs, intelligence heads, and even Mossad have publicly broken with the prime minister. The man who built his career on being Mr. Security is now being called a security risk by Israel's own security establishment. The world is watching and losing patience. The ICC, the International Criminal Court, issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Gallant for alleged war crimes in Gaza. If Netanyahu lands in a country that respects ICC rulings, he gets arrested. He is now a prime minister who cannot travel freely. Even America, Israel's greatest ally, has grown tense. Weapons shipments were briefly paused. Behind closed doors, U.S. officials have described Netanyahu's government as the most extreme Israel has ever had. And Iran? They launched direct missile attacks on Israeli soil, something that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. Israel struck back. The Middle East stood on the edge of full regional war. So here is where we are. A prime minister fighting for his political life and his legal life, while managing a multi-front war. A coalition that could collapse any Tuesday, A society split over who should fight and who should pray. A region on the edge of explosion, and a democracy asking itself the hardest question of all: can a country survive when its leaders need the war more than they need the peace? The next vote in the Knesset could bring it all down. The next court date could change everything. The next airstrike could rewrite the map. Israel is not just a country right now. It is the most combustible political story on the planet. And it is far from over. Follow for more geopolitical stories that actually matter. Like, share, comment your thoughts below.